Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Adobe X AFAX webinar. I'm Shantanu, and I'll be your host today as we explore some truly exciting insights on how Gen AI is elevating workflows for digital and creative agencies. The landscape for agencies is evolving rapidly, with increasing demands for innovative content, faster turnaround times, and consistent brand messaging. It's clear that balancing creativity with productivity is more challenging than ever. So today, at this webinar, experts will demonstrate how Gen AI can address these challenges, helping agencies scale their operations while maintaining creative excellence. So we have got an engaging agenda ahead, and I encourage you all to stick with us till the end, as we'll cover everything from key productivity insights to a deep dive into practical real-world solutions. So let's get things started, and I'm thrilled to introduce our first speaker for the day, Devjani Bhattacharya, Productivity Solutions Consultant at Adobe. Welcome, Devjani. She will share with us how Adobe's latest tools, innovations, including Gen AI, are transforming workflows for digital and creative agencies. But before we begin, a quick reminder to our lovely audience that we have a Q&A button on the right side of your screen. If you have any questions during the session, feel free to post them there, and our speakers will address as many as they can. Also, keep an eye out for polls. They'll pop up during the event, and we'd love your participation. So do not forget to cast your vote. Over to you, Devjani.
Okay, thank you so much, Shantanu, and a very warm welcome to everybody who's come today, and a very good afternoon to you. So I'll be hosting and giving you a little more information of what we have in our program for the day, and let's just continue with that and see how it can work for everybody out here. So when we talk about design, it's where we say that science and art are the break even. What we mean by saying that is that it's always an evolving fact, and every single person who's attending this session today is creative, right? And all of us are the reason why we are causing the future. We are causing the next thing to happen, and it's all up to us and our own creative space that allows us to do that. So how are we doing it? What is going on right now? How are things working for us? It's a lot of questions. It's a lot of changes that are happening every single time. It's a new creation. It's a new aspect that's coming across to us, and every single time we are evolving and coming up with something more beautiful, emerging out in the most possible creative way. And that is what makes design so exciting and interesting as well. We are the ones who solve the problems. We are the ones who come up with a solution or a next step for evolving as humankind altogether, right? And that is the whole concept that we have for today. And that's where we are talking about the latest thing that's in for us, and that is Gen AI, which is generative AI, that's artificial intelligence for you. So I have a couple of questions to ask. So there'll be one poll right now, and I would just want you all to, it's a request, if you could just let me know of what you think about this specific question that we have. So could we please have the poll in place? So I'll give a couple of seconds for that. And I would just want to know what your thought process is when we talk about generative AI, and your thoughts on this specific question. So where do we find ourselves, and how do you fit when it comes to the fact of understanding what we have with regards to Gen AI, right? It's an interesting question. And where as designers, where as creative individuals, where as advertising agencies and marketeers, do you see the use of Gen AI? So digital ads are shifting quickly, and the customers spend a lot of time in more and more time in social media and mobile apps. And I'm sure you are going to agree to what I have to say here, because if you noticed, even WhatsApp is now having, it's been a while now, about a month or so, where you're actually having AI prompt, which is constantly asking you to ask questions, to create content, and to just get more information out. So our customers are the ones who are also able to generate content. So it's getting that challenging at this point of time, and it's getting that interesting also at the same point. So when we think about that, we also have to understand that AI tools to help advertising navigate these challenges will make it a lot more cohesive, a lot more interesting, and definitely the way forward, because it's a part of us now, and it is the most amazing tool that we can come up with for the challenges that have now been created by humans ourselves, right? So when I think about it, I would want to understand what your concepts are with regards to the next question that I have to ask, which is also in a poll format. So if you could just let me know what your thoughts are. The second poll is again related to the same question, wherein I'm just trying to understand your your concept or your thoughts behind the generative AI part of it. Now, if we talk more about it, this is the diagram that I'm showing you, wherein you will be able to see that there is a prominent change in the entire graph when it comes to advertising and how AI is taking over with regards to advertising. Now, if I have to be more specific, there's 32% of marketers using AI to create, run, manage, optimize their ads. And I'm sure you all are aware of all these things. And you will also have to, like when we think of the numbers, it's when it hits us more. Till that point, we have probably just gone ahead and used it, but we're just not aware of how much it is now a part of our daily lives. Like think of Google Map. It's pretty much how I start my car and start driving, because it's always there to help me navigate and find another route, which is again AI, right? So, but it's a good way of looking at it. It's the right way of looking at it. You will have to understand that the tools that we have right now are only going to enhance the or better the problems that we have and help us solve it in the right way. And that is where we are when we see how marketing and advertising field is getting affected. Now, video ads are getting shorter and shorter. Again, attention span, that's becoming one big challenge for every one of us. If you think about it yourself, I'm sure most of the people out here are using Instagram or any of these social media platforms. Even if not, if you're even using LinkedIn for that matter, you would definitely notice that we that start scrolling so soon. It's just like we look at the content. If it works for us, great. Otherwise, we are looking at the next possible thing. So it is getting shorter. It's getting crisper, and the messaging has to reach the audience or your customers at a very small instance. It has to hit the very first second when they look at it, and that's why that something that'll have to keep them captured for the rest of the time. So the challenges are huge. And the worst part is there is so much. There is so much content for every individual to look into. So how is it going to solve for these kind of problems? Well, one of the reasons why we are looking at these problems is because we have tried our best to come up with the solutions. And here is a set of what is the current state of affairs when it comes to advertising and media, right? Ads lost the sound. So lose the sound is another thing that is working very well. Like people are always on the phone, but they are not keeping the music on all the time because they're probably multitasking and they don't have the time to, or things of that sort. So you have to ensure that it's getting a lot more, because previously audio visual used to be spoken together because making impact was very important, was a key thing, and people used to give that much attention to the content. They used to listen to it, they used to care for it, this would be an impact. That impact would stay for a longer time. Now the impact has also gotten lesser because you see one thing, you're impacted, you sit with it for probably an hour at the max, and then you go to the next thing. So it's very it's a lot. It's a lot that's happening, and that's why these points are the key points that we will have to consider when we are making the next creative or the next advertisement, right? Advertising capitalizing on gaming. Another interesting thing, people are never alone nowadays, even if they're sitting in one corner and one place. But I'm talking about any person who's a consumer. There's a lot that they're doing, that if they are bored or they don't have the time, they can do gaming, and that's another way that people are finding this as a good platform to advertise and market themselves. And of course, we have the consumers' demand in social media. That's exactly what I was talking about even earlier. One of the first things that I think about 80% of the people are doing now, right now, as soon as they wake up, is this. And this is becoming a lifestyle. And we have to, just figure out our way through and ensure that we are able to give the right kind of content to the right kind of people at the right point of time. So Here are some key statistics on the digital growth that is happening right now, which is in 2024. And considering that we have these key challenges, which are, or the key pointers that we have where we would want to consider looking into and solve for the same. So, one of them is the global internet users. That is, we have more than 5 billion users on the internet worldwide, and it is annually growing 6 to 7%. And I'm sure we are consuming more and more. I think youngsters are also using internet now, so probably this dynamics is going to change a lot. The consumption is going to change a lot. The end user is going to change a lot, and that's something that will impact everything that we are doing in this space. Digital advertising is growing. It's supposed to come around 700 billion by 2026. And we are getting FIDs are also getting affected because of this. There are positive news that are coming across to ensure that advertising and marketing is taken care of really well. And then you have social media engagements. So we can never deny that we cannot come out of this. This has become one of the most integral part of all our lives right now. Then we talk about the different things like video compositions, e-commerce growth, as well as mobile traffic. Again, all these very specific to digital media, to the digital aspect of things, and that equals to the very fact that we have to understand our customers, consumers, and then work according to that. So, if I have to talk about the trends, the increase in demand in content is going to be difficult. It's something where you will have to ensure that we are personalizing the information. It has to connect to the end user in a very short span of time, probably without an audio, still work really well for us. Again, the gaming part of it, the animation and VFX part of it, the digital marketing expand part of it, all of it is getting affected in a very, very huge or obscene manner. And what we have to take control of or understand is how to make so much content, such a personalized content with such a short time frame, because the whole concept of campaigns, the whole concept of ensuring that there is a whole mood that was created is getting more challenging to deliver. And that is why it's some things that are quite a big concern for all of us, right? So digital marketing is digital advertising is grew around 15%, and now it's supposed to grow to about 842 billion by 2026. And that is where we see that the growth, the expectation, the results, the outcomes, the creatives, all of it is going to get affected. And that is why it's important for us to understand how we can best leverage any artificial intelligence to work with us and give us the best possible quality for the creatives that we want to look at for. So, what do we want to work with? So, after understanding all those points that I have just mentioned, these are the few main points that we feel that we can cater to right away. And one of them is scale creativity, improve efficiency, boost creativity, and finish projects faster with confidence. So, if I think of these few points, which will definitely make things faster for me, more realize about what the current state is, and working towards ensuring that my challenges are something that I can work with and come out of. These are the few points that we look at. Now, coming to this, I would have the next poll, the request for the next poll, which is about understanding if you all are aware of Firefly. Have you heard of Firefly? Have you tried Firefly? Have you tried anything else for an image generation? So I have a couple of polls for that. It will be great if you could just let us know and give us some idea of how you look at this aspect of generative creations or AI generations. So do let us know, and I'll just wait for a couple of seconds for that. All right. So now, if I have to talk about Firefly, which is what I was wanting to come to, that is how Adobe as a company has tried to find a solution for this ever-growing changes in this specific space, with regards to creativity, with regards to understanding how we will be able to automate a lot of things and ensure that creativity stays as genuine as it can. We have what we call as Firefly, which is our generative AI tool. Now, if I talk about Firefly, it's called the Adobe's new family of creative AI model for visual content. And the reason it's said so is because it is an integrated workflow, right? What we mean by saying that is it is something where we have come up with an AI tool which is available in the web platform, but it's also available in all our design softwares. So we had launched it for Photoshop, and it started with generative fill and generative AI, generative expand. And post that, we have gone ahead and worked around to have text to vector for Illustrator, which is an amazing tool. Definitely worth dwelling through. It gives beautiful results. And then we have it in InDesign as well. So in case if you are having the entire set of your layouts ready, your publishing book is all set, and there are images that you're struggling to get, all you have to do is type for it, at least to get a concept approval done. It works really wonderful. Of course, you might want to go ahead and have an expensive shoot and make it as exclusive as you want to, but well, there is an option as well now, and we have the option of generating this, which will be an exclusive image for you, which will be something which is authentic, and it will be legally safe for you because it is designed to be commercially safe. And what we mean by saying that is we have designed this specific generative AI tool with the help of 300 billion plus images, which is owned by Adobe, which is Adobe stock images, which it owns. And again, Adobe stock images is another platform where you have stock images, but that also has Firefly in it. And that's pretty fascinating because I think it's a wonderful tool to have, especially for the creative individuals. So, what do I mean by saying commercially safe is that we have something, Adobe has something which is called indemnification. It offers this specific feature called indemnification, which allows you to have the image generation wherein you will be safe with it. You can publish it and you will not have legal issues. And we will be able to back you up if you have the indemnification also as a part of your package, because there is where we are confident with the fact that we have not, worked with and copyrighted image or any other person's work which was without their permission. So we have open license images, we have public domain content with where the copyrights have expired, and we have our Adobe stock images which are owned by Adobe, wherein that was contributed by individuals or professionals who work towards getting the premium quality content. So that is where we are confident, we are sure that you can use Firefly, and whatever results are coming to you, you can go ahead and use it for all your commercial purposes, and it will definitely be something where we'll be able to back you up if need be, right? You will not really have any kind of legal issues, and that's something which is a big deal for everybody who's trying to create something and is wanting to be authentic and genuine with their work. So that is what Firefly is. Now, if I have to give you a roundabout of what I just told you in a visual format, this is where we are right now with Firefly. We have it for our Creative Cloud, where we have it for Photoshop, we have it for Illustrator, we have it for InDesign, some of the design softwares that we have. We also have it for Adobe Stock. We have it for another thing called as Adobe Express. It's mainly meant for people who need not have the design skills, but can easily work around with the files that are created in any of the design softwares, or it has templates as well, where you can just create something in a jiffy and share it across. So then the last and the most important thing is Firefly, which has been integrated in all these points. And then we also have automated services like Firefly APIs, Photoshop APIs, as well as Lightroom APIs. Now, what we mean by saying this is that we could actually get this specific set wherein we will have you might have situations where you have to generate batches of images. There are too many that have to be created for a specific instance. Say, for example, you have a localized version of something where you'd have lots of images generation that is needed, and you already know what the content is going to be, what the visual is supposed to look like. You can actually have the Firefly APIs work for you, where you could create backgrounds wherein it's a Diwali or a New Year or Halloween or anything at all. Could be event based, could be, experience based. It can be anything. It can be seasonal. Whatever the needs are, those things can be automated, and hence saving a lot of time and energy, and get the results based on what your expectation or concepts are, right? So now when I think about that, this is how we are planning to solve for the previously mentioned fact of what, or the trend of what digital marketing is coming to, or digital advertising is coming to, and hence these are some of the basics that we are trying to provide. Of course, there is a lot to learn, there's a lot of evolving, and we are evolving every day. So in case if you have been using any of the softwares, I'm sure you are, but please do keep updating those, because there is a constant update that's happening, and every time we are trying our best to ensure that the results of the Firefly is also improving a lot. It's getting even better, and you can do wonders with that, and I'll show you how as well. So, what are we offering when we talk about Firefly, right? So we have text to image, then we have generative fill and expand, which is something that you must have seen for almost a year now from in Photoshop, but it has enhanced and gotten way more awesome, if I have to say the word awesome here. But it's gotten really so cool that you would really want to, try it out and see it for yourself. Then we have style and references. Again, a very fascinating feature, especially for people who are creatively inclined towards illustrative versions of things, or a specific style of photography. If that is your calling, then style and structure references are a way to go. Structure reference will allow you to get generations of images based on your specific structure. So I will be giving examples of this, but in short, if I have to just explain it, it'll be, say, for example, you have a specific cat and you want the cat to walk on the left side of the path. You can simply draw even a box accordingly and then give the prompt saying that I want the cat coming this way. It'll work with that. If you have a position or a posture of a model, and you would want other models to be generated in that format, or maybe even an alien to be generated in that format, you can actually use that specific posture and get the results based on that. So it works on every possible image generation that you have. It'll give you the structure. You want a flower with a lot of petals around it, you just give one circle with rounds, with smaller circles around it, you'll get that kind of a structure. Style reference will be more specific to illustrators. It will be specific to photographers who have a specific need or an ask. It has billions of options available, not billions, I was just exaggerating, but it has a lot of options that are available, but billions in a way where you can actually upload a specific style and get results based on that. So say for example, I have a paper cut or a paper quilling style of illustration, and I would want the generation to be similar. I can go for the style reference and get that kind of a result and generate my entire campaign based on that specific style. So it can get very exclusive, and that's how we are ensuring that your results are going to be as unique as you want it to be. And that's completely up to you. And the best part is it stays with you. It's not something where Firefly will keep, making use of it and generate more of it. That's not how it works. It stays with the customer and never goes away from there. And then you have something called a style kit. So what does style kit do? Well, style kit actually allows you to keep your generation, in case if you have come up with all these experiments that you have done and you have liked a specific result, and now you want to create the entire campaign, then you can go ahead and save a style kit and then share it with the team members, and everybody will have generations based on that specific result and that specific style. And then that allows you to keep it harmonious for the rest of the prompts and image generations that you would want it to. Then you have something called as object composite. Now, object composite is again a beautiful feature. All these images that you are seeing on the screen have object composite in a certain way. What I mean by saying that is, if you have a product or a model, you can actually put that specific image and you can get a background generation done for it. And the beauty of this specific feature is that it allows you to have a shadow and reflection and everything around it that does not make it look like it's not been a part of that image. And that's why it makes it really good. And the last but not least is the custom model, wherein there are a lot of times when you have a product and you would want to have various creations made around it, or you have a character, say for example a mascot, and you would want to keep generating various things made, like various actions coming out with that. You want campaigns running with that. You need something which will allow you to generate more of that specific character or that specific product in various angles and various colors, or those kind of specifications. You can work with something which is called a custom model, which will allow you to do those as well. So that's an add-on. The rest of it that you see are available on Firefly, and it's available on the web as well. Now, this is how we want to see our sorry, this is how you want to just see how it has affected the rest of the team. So IBM, it has already done a 10x increase in the productivity. 93% reduction time has been spent by Astrocrats, as well as 90% increase in the creativity with efficiency has happened with global agency. And as you can see, even Adobe has done a lot, where we have actually got 80% increase in our generations in general, as well as IBM again, which has 26% increase in the engagement with the Firefly generation. So we are accelerating creative ideas. So this is where it has worked really well, wherein we have helped them with the challenge where they were not able to come up with a quick visualization idea. And this was possible with the text to image, wherein Firefly was one of the key features where it helped them to create the exact visualization that they wanted to. And they could actually do that with the web Firefly. Post that, the integration was very easy, because we also have something called as Frame.io, which allows you to comment, get approvals. All of that is possible with the help of Frame.io. It is integrated with all our softwares. So it helps it go in a very smooth fashion, as well as it allows you to connect with our Adobe stock images as well as Firefly. Altogether, it helped them with a 75 reduction in the ideation and storyboarding time. So for people who feel that they would want to create the entire image, and that gives a different, of course, it gives a different amount of satisfaction. But in case if you're just looking at visualizing, that also can be done so easily, so smoothly, and can definitely help you work way more faster with the help of Firefly and stock integration. So just a quick video on that. So this was about the ballerina, and there are various images possible. As I told you, there are different kind of styling that are possible. So you can choose the style that you want. You can choose a reference that you want. And when you have a reference image and a styling together, you'll be able to work around with this and get the result based on what your expectations are. So here you can see that we're even working with the landscaping style, what is the aspect ratio that you're looking for. And then you can actually go ahead and change the background and work around with this, and even leave a comment, which is possible in Frame.io. And then once you have chosen to work with the feedback, you can always get a better result based on it and get a better team collaboration done here. Right. Then we have boost our productivity. And in the productivity point of view, I had mentioned about the object pinning, where this specific bag was used, and it was able to generate images based on this, create a background around it, and it was able to give something which made a lot more impact and worked really fast for the ideation point of view and approved it all. So the creative task was completed 80% faster with the help of this specific style. So this is a feature called object pinning. And as you can see, there are variations that are possible. And it also allows you to remove the background, works really well, and does a great job. And then we have the streamlining collaboration, which is all about Frame.io, which allows you to work way faster when it comes to videos as well as the visuals that we have. Right. So then we have scale the branding content, wherein you can actually work around and ensure that you'll be able to get consistent results. You are able to give a branding with that specific styling also in place. And that is where it becomes way more easier for you to generate as many creatives as you want in a specific point of time. So here you can go ahead and I was talking about the custom model part of it as well. So you can actually see how the content generation is easier and ideation across is also working really well. So let me just take you through a few of them. And this is one of them where I would now show you how we have gone ahead and created something. So the theme today that I have taken is sports, and I'm trying to create a brand where I'll be having an energy drink for the athletes. So let's just try and see how we work around with this. So this is Adobe stock images, and as I mentioned to you, it's having a beautiful feature where we are actually having Firefly integrated here as well. Let's just see how. So I have gone ahead and searched for Olympics 2024. That was the basic idea what was working for me. And here, when I went through all these images, as you can see, there are lots of images available. Let me just try and find something which is more specific to my expectation. And I'll try and look out for Eiffel Tower. So let me just go through it and see which one works best for me. And yeah, this one looks nice. So yeah, see, so I have like specific image and I see an edit button. Now, if I go and edit this specific image, as you can see, I have a few options on my left, and they allow me to remove the background, expand, and edit object. Now it's quite interesting because this is not something that you get in a stock image point of view, right? Now there are these images that are when I'm hovering, it's showing me all these rectangles, and what it's doing is it's allowing me to remove that image. I mean, imagine that it's actually letting me do it real time without even licensing that image. So I am now able to see whether this image works for me or does not work for me. And then I can just go ahead and try and expand quality. Now, again, this is something which is very normal for all of us, where we look out for a stock image, but we are not able to get the aspect ratio that matches for all the campaigns that we need to work for. So here I can actually go ahead and expand an image to be a portrait or landscape version. And there you see I have three options available, and I can just choose the one that works for me. And there you go. It's beautifully done. So that was when it came to stock, and it was a very interesting thing for me, because I feel a lot of us do look out, and we do use a lot of stock images, designers, creative individuals. So it's great to have this feature which allows you to go ahead and make these tweaks and changes before you even download that or have a license of. So it's taken care of without even opening another software. That's the most fascinating thing. Right. So now if I have to go to Firefly, this is the Firefly web portal. And let me try and now ideate for my campaign. So as we have seen that we have done with the Paris part of it, let me try and create a athlete now, right? So let me just try and write something here. And I want a boxer athlete with a golden energy line. Now, since I'm trying to do a protein or an energy drink, so let me just try and get the energy lines around. I would want to just see how it's coming out for the athlete and have some waves and golden glows around it. So these are the images that I got. They are fine, but I have a specific visualization in my mind. So let me try and get a specific sketch that I have and work with that and give you get a result. So this is my sketch. I like this one. And this is the kind of energy that I'm trying to see. So I have the reference, that structure that I was talking about. So that's what it is. This is the structure part of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and try and find this image for myself. And once I have it, so I take a little time of, yeah, there you go. So it'll always ask me this question whether I have the ownership or the rights to that image. Again, it's one of the steps that we have taken to ensure that our it's helpful to ensure that the authenticity is maintained, and hence it'll be asking you whether you have the ownership for that image that you are asking it to generate based on. So that is where it takes care of it. And as you see, I've got my results. Now, one thing that you have to keep in mind whenever you're doing any of these is that you have to go for an aspect ratio similar to what your structure reference was. And unfortunately, I had not done that at that point. So it came in a square version. I'm just doing a widescreen now. And just give it a couple of seconds and let's see what it does. And there you go. I have my results here. So it's working based on what my expectations are, and it's giving me results based on that. So I can just go ahead and download this, or I can have my style kit created for this, right? Now, after that, let me just go to Illustrator and show you a couple of things really fast. So if I had to show you the integration where I was talking about the text to vector part of it, I'll just show you how I have gone ahead and created a logo for the same. So I'm just going to go ahead and generate a vector. And I want to create an energy drink. And as you see, these are the various options that are available where I can actually go ahead and get prompt inspiration from. And I can also use structure, style reference, as well as effects and color tones also. I have gone ahead and said cold energy drink that can be with front and water drops. So I'm just trying to make something which is going to give that energy look that I want, and just typing that out. So I have various options that I can work with, and I'm just going to generate this one now and see what we get. And there you go. You have this beautiful image which I have generated as a scene, and you see that I have various options available for this. And the best part is it's vector. I can actually change things in it. I can change colors in it. I can work around and ensure that I get the right kind of mood that I want. It also works on outlines. So I have just created a few outlines, and I will try and get a few text prompts here to get a bull. I'm just trying to get that energy feel on the logo. So I'm just working with that. Just a couple of seconds. There you go. So I have my bull head for me, which I had mentioned that I wanted in black and red. I got my variations also. You usually get 3 variations, you can generate more, and it's possible for us to do it in outlines. So in case if you have just an outline and you just want to ensure that it fills that specific part, you can try doing this yourself and get excited and get creative. So it's really, really wonderful to see all these things take shape right in front of your eyes, and it's all in vector. What more can we ask for? So see, I've got my bottles here, my cans here, and my cans are having variations also. Now I have now created one of these layouts, and I have my logo and my entire branding ready for the scan, and I can just put it on an image. So another fascinating feature that we have in Illustrator is that we can mock it up. So I'll just place a vector on top of a can or any kind of rasterized image or a JPEG or a PNG, whichever one you want. And I can just go ahead and do a mock-up, and it'll actually bend and take the shape of this specific JPEG or rasterized image that we have with the help of mock-up. So again, very helpful, very useful. And as we mentioned earlier, trying to solve the problems that we have, where we are trying to ensure that all these things that will pull us down or make us a little slower is not your headache anymore. It's taken care by the software so that you can do a lot more creative things. So this is something which will bend and work accordingly. Now, I had created these images for the uh, Firefly version where I had just gone ahead and tried an athlete. Let me try and use our can image here and just see whether we can go ahead and create a campaign very quickly. So I have my can bottle ready. I have this is the pinning part of it, or object composite part of it, where I was talking about, where you can actually use a product or a model and work with that. So this is my product that I'm going to go ahead with, and I'm going to confirm and give a image here. So you can see that it's very easy. You can remove the background. It's not going to take too much time, and just generate it. Once I've done that, I'll be able to get results based on that. And I'll just change the aspect ratio and work with this. And there you go. I have my result based on what I would want. Now I can give a reference image, and here I have a reference image that I really like. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this specific style. And now with my structure reference in place, Let me try to use the object and the reference image together and see how it gives me a result based on this. So again, very interesting. Works so fast, right? Like, so ideation can happen way more faster. There are a lot of times when we struggle, we try to, explain exactly what we're thinking of. And here we'll be able to get the results based on what my expectations are and get a result completely instantly and see for myself as well as for the rest of the team to the people who are even approving it, just for all of us to see and be aligned with it. It is one step faster, not one step, it's way more than that. So this is where we are with regards to having our Firefly feature. And there you go, I have created most of my ad. And now after this, of course, I can take it to Photoshop, I can work around, and everything can be taken care of as well. But this is where I would just conclude what we are possibly capable of doing, just showing you on a surface level of what is possible. But this is what we have when it comes to Firefly. I would just want to show you one video right now. And with that video, we will kind of give a little more excitement, because that is going to talk about what is coming up in Firefly and video or animated versions of things. So could you please help me with the video?
At Adobe, we're building the future of video to help editors realize their creative vision faster and push it further. This past spring, we unveiled early explorations of generative AI in our video applications. And today, we're excited to share an update on progress and new capabilities that will help creatives overcome common editing challenges. Guided by our community's input, the Adobe Firefly video model is trained with creators' rights in mind and designed to be commercially safe. With Firefly text-to-video, you can use text prompts, a wide variety of camera controls, and reference images to generate B-roll that seamlessly fills gaps in your timeline. Quickly explore ideas for unique visual effects. Create elements for pre-visualization, like atmospheric overlays. Or use text-to-video to generate inspiration for motion graphics. With image-to-video, bring your still shots or illustrations to life by transforming them into stunning live-action clips. And coming later this year to Premiere Pro Beta, Generative Extend lets you extend clips to cover gaps in footage, smooth out transitions, or hold on shots longer for perfectly timed edits. And again, like other Firefly generative AI models, our video model is designed to be commercially safe and is only trained on public domain or licensed content, never on our users' content, so you can create with confidence. We can't wait for you to get your hands on these new capabilities in beta later this year.
All right. So thank you, everyone. And I hope this session was helpful. Now we'll have to transit to an exciting part of our webinar. We have Mr. Herschel, founder and managing director of Shebang, joining us for the fireside chat. Leading the conversation will be Janani, the head of marketing at DME India at Adobe, who will be asking Herschel some insightful questions. Let's dive into this engaging discussion. Janani, over to you.
Thank you, Debjani, and thanks for the wonderful session. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Harshal, and
Hi, Janani.
welcome to this session. It's so great to have you join us and share some insights and best practices to this wonderful group of creative audience that we have today. They've already heard from Debjani on leveraging generative AI for creative excellence. We can't wait to hear from you.
Thank you, Janani. Thank you for this warm invitation, and thank you for having me here. And very insightful session by Deb Janani. Really enjoyed listening to it.
Yeah, without further ado, we don't want to keep the audience waiting. Let me jump into the first question. Shebang has always been at the forefront of digital innovation. How are you leveraging generative AI to enhance your creative output and client strategies?
Yeah, look, I think the way we use generative AI, the way we look at generative AI is that it's a tool that is going to help us be better creators. And I think that is what Devjani also kind of alluded to in her presentation. So, lots of people looked at AI as, hey, it's going to take stuff away from us. No, it's adding so much more to us. It's rapid speed of experimentation, rapid prototyping. It's about letting imagination unfold at pace, which is way beyond what we've been used to. Um, so, couple of cases, and this was sometime this time last year that we did some experiments with Britannia for, creating new biscuit worlds. And we worked with AI to generate new biscuit worlds, and we leveraged the power of Firefly for that, as part of the beta. So, really to generate new biscuit worlds where our imagination couldn't take it, AI took us one place, and then our design team took it one notch higher. So it's really man with machine on the design front that can really take us really into new fresh territories.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've shared a great insight. That's fascinating to hear how it's opened up new avenues, new ways of creative thinking. Um, Generative AI has enabled mass personalization in marketing. That's what we are seeing across many of our clients that we are working with. How do you balance maintaining creativity while scaling personalization of content through Gen AI?
So I think, my view on this is that we've not reached yet the enabling infrastructure for mass personalization, is my view yet. Um, the reason I say this is because I think from the point of view when we talk about the ad ecosystems and we talk about the creation ecosystem. So let's talk about the creation ecosystem as Adobe and the ad ecosystem as Google or Meta. And really the two, there's no real tap which is talking between the two yet, or no pipe which is talking between the two yet. So it's still a lot of inside the platform personalization. So let's say that Google will have inside itself DV personalization, but that's not of the same quality as what Adobe can offer. So I don't think it's yet kind of seamlessly linked through, if I had to put it that way. Having said that, there is a lot more experimentation. There's a lot more prototyping which is going on for personalization. I think we're still at personalizing to cohorts and not necessarily personalizing to individual to the power of one at its full capacity. Yes, we are taking names, we are taking, video AI is taking names, etc. But it's still not to the level where the creative industry can take it. So I think we're in a very exciting journey there, and we have a few more, months to traverse that.
I hope we can, experiment with some of those use cases and kind of accelerate that journey for our creative fraternity. So, hoping to do that as well. Moving on to my next question, Harshil, we would like to know how Shabang has used generative AI, not only for creative content creation, right, but also in analyzing data and also doing data-driven marketing campaigns.
Yeah. So, we were, thanks to Adobe, we were one of the first on the beta for Firefly. So we've been using now Firefly for months, and that's ingrained into the culture of our design teams for, again, as I said, rapid prototyping and A/B testing. And the culture of A/B testing of creatives is something that we are driving through the ecosystem with speed. So how we typically look at it is that it starts with defining what to measure. So we really try to look at for variety of things, typically things like view through rate, your click through rate on different cohorts. So view through rate, click through rate, open rate, open to fill rate, fill to land conversion rate. So multiple of these rates is what we are monitoring to understand which creative is delivering exactly what. And now the number of complexities that we have is that there is also AI being used at the back to process that data. So AI being used at the visual end to experiment with what message goes to the consumer, but also AI being used at the back end to process the data and really come back with what the data is saying and what indicative data is working. So both of these things we're using AI at.
Interesting. It's sounding like AI is helping bridge that creativity and data seamlessly, bringing creativity, productivity together, right? Um, I think I have one more question for you, and this is the last one. For agencies that are just beginning to adopt a Gen AI and tools like Adobe Firefly, what will be your advice for them to ensure that they make the most out of this technology, and how can they truly, stay attune to the creative vision that they have without compromising that? What is your advice to the new agencies?
I think that's a fantastic question. I think the keyword that you said here is creative vision. And I think any new agency needs to first cultivate a creative vision. I would
Right.
look at some of the pitfalls of relying only on AI. Because if we rely only on AI, we become at the risk of not having any sense of individuality. And we become at the risk of not having any sense of real deep identity, which is what it needs to take to be a creative professional, or a bunch of creative professionals cater to a client as an agency. So I would really urge any new agency out there to have a creative voice, to have a creative perspective, to have a point of view on where they would like to take the work per se, and then use AI to help them accelerate that journey. Because AI is going to help you accelerate your creative vision. It's not going to necessarily give you a creative vision. Yes, definitely AI can help you form your creative vision, because when you are building your creative vision, and if you want to rely on AI to look at different styles, if you want to rely on AI to look at different possibilities, you can kind of jam with AI if you may. But AI is not really going to be your, it's not going to it's not going to do that job for you to build a creative vision. And once you built it, then it can help you walk it. So I think we are in an exciting time, and all the technology that we keep seeing from Adobe over the month after month in terms of updates and fixes, it's quite interesting and exciting, and we're excited to be a part of it.
That's a great advice. Creative voice and creative perspective. Use generative AI as your support system, so to call it, right? It's in the age of so many possibilities, it's a great advice to know where to start with, right? And I really want to thank you for taking out time to join us at this webinar, and really share your thoughts with the or creative audience that we have over here. I'm sure they thoroughly enjoyed the sessions. Yours and Devjani's sessions were truly insightful for them. Without much, thank you so much, Harshal.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harshil and Jani, for your insight. So now moving ahead, we have few questions from our audience. I would just like Dev Jani to welcome back and just answer the questions that we have from our audience. Over to you, Dev Jani.
Plus Express, which allows you to have templates in place, as well as it automates the dimensions, and it'll help you generate the images, as well as it'll also instantly post. In case if you want to even schedule a post, that's possible. That's all possible through Express, and Express is a web platform. It's also available on your mobile, and it is integrated with all the Adobe softwares, so you can easily get those, or you can create your own templates also. So yes, it's very much possible for you to generate visual layouts and post them on your social media. Could you give us a demo or show on some projects? I did give a bit of the demo, but we just had that much time for it. But I hope that was helpful. Now, how would you differentiate yourself from Gen AI tools, apart from the fact that you have huge database that is owned by you? So usually Adobe allows you to have Adobe images. Whenever it's generated, it'll always have a specific credential that'll show, and you can always click on that and see the fact that it's generated via AI. So it'll always show that. You'll never really have a problem with that, even if it is generated in your Photoshop or InDesign. If it is a raster image, it'll always show you the fact that it's actually created or not created by you, or created by the generative AI. Is it by default is it by default built into Firefly, or do we need to have added it? No, you don't have to add it explicitly. It's a part of our softwares now. All you have to do is you have to ensure that you have the latest version. You please update it. You have to just go to Creative Cloud, and you will see that there's an update option available. Just update it, and instantly it will come. Or you can just go to the window of every software and just go and check for generative context, and it'll show you that bar, and it'll allow you to generate those images accordingly. So that is where you'll be able to see it. And whenever you do a generation, in case if you're not able to see the variations, we tend to close off that window. You can always go back to Windows and try to look for properties, all the generations that you have created on that specific file, be it Illustrator or InDesign or Photoshop. All of these images will come there, all the variations that you have done, provided you have saved the file. Okay, I want to know where we can generate sensitive photos. I am working on. Okay, we will not be able to give you sensitive photo generation because it's against the aesthetics that have been followed, but that is possible for you to generate with custom model. In case if you have anything to do with breast cancer or be it any kind of, so the custom model is a place where you'll be able to generate these images. That specific API, that plugin will be allowed to be accessed only by you and your team, and you will be able to feed it with the images and the information that you need, and you'll be able to generate them just based on that. How do you get a notification? You will have to connect with the concerned team here. What we can do is we can actually have email ID shared here, and you can talk to them or email them, and we'll be able to look into your requirements and work with that. Do we use AI in our professional work within less? How can we use AI for our professional within less time? Well, I think Shantanu also gave you a lot of options and ideas, and so did I. You can start with a visualization point of view. You can simply start working way faster with that. And then, of course, you can actually generate images that you can use for your campaigns. And now you have even the video format, which is coming very soon, and hopefully that will help you work faster and spend lesser time. So I hope that was something that worked for you. I'm not sure whether I was able to answer the last question, but that's what I would have to say. But yeah, are there any more questions, or Shantanu, would you want to take over? Okay, I think there's one more. Is generative fill AI generative available on Premiere Pro and After Effects tools? They are coming soon. They're coming soon in Premiere Pro for sure. And we'll be seeing that very soon. I am hoping that there'll be another event, which is going to be a big one for us. And once we have that, it'll kind of get disclosed. But yes, I just showed a video for the same where you'll be able to do things on the video platform. Regional languages, yes, you can have regional languages. You can actually type your prompt in Hindi or Marathi or Telugu or Kannada, and you'll get the results based on that. And Indianized images, yes. So this is a ask which is coming a lot. In case if you have a specific demography in your mind that you would want the images to be created in, you can actually prompt for that. You could specify it by saying that I want a European lady, or American man, or be it an Indian vada pav seller. You can specify your request while you're creating the prompt, and it'll be giving you more precise results based on that. So it does that. So I think with this, I have managed to answer all your questions. And in case if there are any more, you can always reach out to us. We could share the email ID. I'm sure Shantanu will be able to help with that. And over to you, Shantanu.
Thank you so much, Dev Jani, for answering the questions from our audience. And it's always refreshing to hear such diverse perspectives on how creativity and productivity can go hand in hand in today's fast-paced environment. And as we near the end of our session, I would like to take a moment to express my gratitude to all our speakers, Dev Jani Bhattacharya, Harshil Karya, and Janani Srinivas for their time and valuable insights. And of course, a big thank you to all of you, our wonderful audience, for being with us today and engaging with us throughout the session. To close, I just want to leave with you a final thought that it's lovely to see how tools like generative AI can be a game changers for enabling agencies to manage multiple projects, meet tight deadlines, and still maintain the highest level of creative excellence. And I really hope that today's session has inspired you to explore how you can implement some of these ideas into your own workflow. And thank you once again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you at the future AFAX events. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.